Girl, it's been too long.
Girl, I missed you. How you been? What you been up to?
Love the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Time for the season.
The movies are back.
I love it.
That's right. You know
How
what's
are you doing? How's your basement hallway?
it's good. It's as liminal as ever. You know what I love about this fan is I have this in my tarot room at the Church of the Sparkling Unicorn, which
Like,
I miss no
like most
opportunity to
people do.
say the name of that
Why
place.
would you?
Yeah. And it's always around like where I burn incense. So it kind of smells like
Oh,
incense. It smells
it's
great.
like you're just in church
Mm-hmm.
immediately.
Amber, rose, and pine. I said yes, please.
All those girls.
All those girls who work
Well,
down by the turnpike.
girl, this is the heartbreak episode, and you are breaking hearts. Tell me what you're wearing.
Is it my long hair? Do you see how long my hair is getting?
It is. It is. It's sensual.
Mm-hmm. It's giving like, did you do your extra credit like I asked? I'm really in this like, I'm really leaning into this teacher moment in my 30s. Like my eyes are a
I
little
love it.
tired. My eyes are a little tired, but I'm still serving you like full fashion fantasy.
You were grading papers all night.
All night, all night. And those essays were not good.
Oh.
Let me tell you. They weren't good. So I had to spend a lot of time and a lot of red ink correcting those essays.
Mm.
So we have a fully smocked bodice, which is my other drag name, Smocked Bodice. And we have a nice gathered waist because, as you know, I need a little assistance with the waist. I don't really have too much of one naturally, so this really gets it together.
In our friendship, I got all the hips.
Mm-hmm. It's got pockets, so like ring ring, hello, who's calling? So I can carry all my necessary things, and it's got a little bit of smocking down at the cuff, so it's kind of like got a nice like lantern blouson kind of look with the sleeves.
I wore a similar sleeve today. It wasn't as much ruching at the base, but it still had that bell ode, like a bell sleeve
Yeah, like
all the way up.
it's nice because it brings in at the wrists, which make your wrists look very dainty.
Which is very you.
But it's also smocking, so it's elasticized. So it's like also comfortable. Because sometimes when I wear cuffs with buttons, like it gets uncomfortable and I have to keep adjusting the length.
Oh, I always roll them up. It doesn't matter what time of year it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't deal with it.
Exactly. But this is just like very easy. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, dare I ask where you got it? Dare I ask?
If you have to ask, you already know.
If you shock me, girl.
Yeah, it is. Oh, let me just readjust and pull in my situation here, my seat.
Well, I am wearing the same halter top I wear every call. The same earrings I wear every call.
Girl, you know what? We're leaning into our sense of self-worth. We're understanding the value that we bring. And so like, if you all get an extra outfit at home, if you see us wearing something different, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
That's
welcome.
true.
Because it's 2024 and we suffer no fools.
Mm, mm. So true. So I'm going to break hearts with my news that I'm going to be having an NA beer that is delicious. I told you about this beer the other day. So dish cam me, girl.
Oh my gosh, dish cam set.
So I'm taking a break from the booze. So I'm enjoying an Athletic Brewing Co. Run Wild IPA.
Oh, I like that. I like that background on the can. It looks sort of like a screensaver from Mac OS Ventura.
And let me tell you what, I am not a runner.
Well, you know
This
what? You could have fooled me with that physique.
girl, you like any run on treadmill. This beverage is the best NA beer I've had on my NA journey. First of all, it's not your grandfather's O'Doul's. It is delicious,
Mm-hmm.
and it is only 65 calories.
Oh, that's like
Ooh.
less than a Halo top, girl. When
Tell
you
me
need a
about it.
little, when you need a little sweet treat, get you some athletic. I love the way we're just slipping into this sort of like sponsorship mode when we are not
Yes.
monetized whatsoever.
So here's the thing I discovered. I was out and I was like, well, I want a bev and I don't love mocktails.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got this and didn't believe them that there was no alcohol. And then I looked up how many calories it was and I got mad. So I was like, this is so great. And then I realized all NA beers are like that because alcohol is calories. So I thought this was like amazing, but it's just that's how all NA beer is.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It really is.
Yeah, it's one of the downsides. So, anyways, here's queers, whatever you're drinking tonight.
Cheers. Oh my gosh, girl, let me tell you about how we had a transitional faux pas there. I went back to the intro screen, but we're back. Girl, I am not on an NA journey this week.
And we love that for you.
So here we go. Cheers.
I'm so sorry. Is that a Manhattan?
I mean, once again, if you have to ask, you already know. I'm nothing if not consistent.
You are consistent. You are actually one of my most consistent friends.
Hey, if you have to, like, where is the lavender bowl cut in my life? I'm here for you.
Yeah. You are so consistent.
If you're like, where's the mommy teacher energy in my life? I'm here for you.
No further. Well, look, just go into a basement. Maybe you'll find her.
Yeah. If you want to like never update your contact for somebody in your phone, come over to my camera. I've had the same phone number since 2002.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
Oh my God.
I know.
I didn't even. What? Were there cell phones in 2002?
There was like barely cell phones. You know what I mean? It was like a phone number was registered for me, and then it was like, here you go. And then I didn't have a cell phone in 2002, but you know what I mean? Like it became my cell phone number, but it's always been my cell phone number. I've never had another.
That's amazing.
So.
Well, girl, this is the heartbreak episode, and we're already breaking so many hearts.
Do you mean just by being here? Just by looking like this. We just break so many hearts on the daily. I think it's true. Can we talk about Valentine's Day for a second? Because
yeah.
I think we should, in fact, because this is the time that we've set aside to do so. So Valentine's Day, like, there's so much pressure with it. There's it's like a kind of an uncomfortable expectation, right? Like you have to, if you're with somebody on Valentine's Day, you have to make sure that you schedule the time to do the things with that person. Or people. You know, we are very inclusive of non-monogamous identities on this channel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, yeah, that's your whole week.
Yeah, what? What's the whole week? For Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That's right. You've got like the whole polycule needs to be on the schedule.
Lots going on.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So there's
work. Just don't go.
There's pressure, and then if you're not with anyone, it's terrible.
Oh yeah, the worst. And then there's all the like permutation holidays. They're like Valentine's Day and Galentine's Day, and it's like I like Galentine's Day because I you know I like the concept. It's not that I don't like it. I love anyone who can make any Hallmark holiday their own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I support that. I support that journey.
Pressure. But I think there's so much pressure. I love what Dan Savage says always, which is fuck first before dinner.
Mm-hmm. Before dinner. Because yeah. Because if that doesn't go well, you might as well not suffer through the dinner.
Exactly. And you like, well, his whole point is you eat a bunch of rich food and drink a bunch and like no one's having sex after lamb lollipops and a bottle of cab.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember when we lived together and someone called me a transsexual and I still kept the dinner plans just so I could yell at them and embarrass them in public?
I thought it was a different T word, but okay.
No, in that moment it was transsexual. Because remember my response was, well, he said, hey, some of my close friends identify as transsexual. And I said, who are your close friends? Dr. Frankenfurter?
That was the best comeback to that, by the way. Still to this day.
because I call bullshit on that moment.
Well, I thought because of Frankenfurter's song, It was the other T word.
Yeah. Well, no, that's sweet. Oh, no, you're right. It was transvestite.
Yeah.
It was. No, you're correct. I stand corrected.
You stand corrected about your own experience because I was so mad. It's seared into my memory.
Yeah.
If I lose my mind, which I hope I never do, I'm not going to forget that.
Yeah. I think there's a couple things which were dangerous situations I put myself in that you will never forget.
Wait, this Heartbreakers episode. Times Brooke's heart was broken out of fear for Eileen's life.
Yeah, it's real sad. But I do want to just briefly acknowledge the progress that I've made. Hopefully there have not been so many of those moments in recent memory.
Also, by the way, that's you have just as many for me. Remember when I brought up that guy and then he like flipped out and found Jesus? Like
I think there were a couple of those, if I'm not mistaken.
It's him.
You're like, I can neither confirm nor deny. Girl, remember our system that we used to have when I would text you an address followed by a coffin emoji? There may or may not be one of those coming this week.
But you know what's so funny about that? It was before you could like tag where you were, like drop pins. Mm-hmm. So like now, oh my God, like I would, you know what? If we lived together now and we were in our 20s, in 2024, I'd slip an air tag in your purse.
Oh my God. You'd pull up the app and watch this, like, so, you know, Monty and I do this, and we have, like, our profile pictures are cats, so it just looks like cats are driving around town. And so you would just drop an air tag in my purse, and you just pull up the app, and there'd be this cat just involved in all kinds of nonsense all around town.
Yeah. And I would just sit on the couch with Bev, and I'd just be like, all right, where's she going tonight?
Yeah. You're like, what kind of shenanigans is she putting herself in? What kind of danger is she putting herself in this week?
Oh my God.
I do want to briefly say that I like Valentine's Day because it is a little bit more gender inclusive.
I do like that as well. Yeah, Valentine's Day is not.
But I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you don't want to do anything for Valentine's Day, or if you just like out of sheer spite, you just want to like break things on Valentine's Day because you reject the idea of the holiday, I also support like Valentine's anarchy.
Ooh, yes.
Because I don't like it.
I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I celebrate President's Day. It's my favorite holiday of the year.
Yeah. You do, and I knew. I knew you were not going to miss an opportunity to talk about President's Day. Go.
But I won't this year. I won't this week, but I will be talking about it next week.
We had a President's Day episode.
And we will have another.
It's next week. Tune in next week for Covered Dish.
But I don't want to miss. I already brought up Jesus once. You know me, girl. One trick pony. Just love it. Love the Christ. But
one resurrection per night.
Yeah, no, we got. But
yeah.
But I do want to touch base on. We did a little history, did a little research on the history of Saint Valentine.
Tell me about that.
Because like
I
all modern,
I don't know the origin story.
You know, he's a Roman saint. So, like most Hallmark holidays, they come from like pagans or Christians, and in this case, it's a Christian. But Saint Valentine is the patron saint of beekeepers and epilepsy. So, here's what happens. I'll tell you about it. In the Catholic Church, they got to just assign shit to saints. And like St. Francis got all the good shit. St. Francis is like the patron saint of like birds and animals and nature. And then they ran out of good shit. And then I think as they got later into the process, they're just like,
bees. Oh.
Like, oh, you're the patron saint of pens. Like
So apparently they kept bees in the Roman Empire. That's very interesting.
Way more interesting. But here's the other.
Does this relate somehow to his story? Like the background of why he was beatified?
No.
Okay, great. Cool.
No. Because here's the thing. I don't even know if they kept bees. Because he could have gotten the assignments as the patron saint after he was gone.
Girl.
You see what I'm saying? They just assign shit.
Yeah.
And a pope is like, I'm holy, and they're like, okay.
This is the great thing about spirituality is you can just make things up.
Oh yeah.
I actually love doing that. It's like one of my favorite activities. Um, I love to just take a good old candle. You ever done candle magic? Have you watched Practical Magic?
I have. I recently rewatched Practical Magic. So I saw it when I was a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I was so terrified of that terrible villain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess that is a little scary. Yeah.
But that's all that stayed with me. And I never watched it again until this Halloween. I
Really?
mean, I have not watched it in over 30, like whatever, 30 years. Yeah.
I love when you revisit a movie and it's been so long because it just like I replayed a video game recently, which was a very ambitious like commentary on international politics, but told through the lens of 2005. And
Ooh.
yeah, and I didn't pick up any of that when I first played it because I was a teenager, right?
Right.
So I love like revisiting something from decades later and you just get so much more out of it. But
Oh, yeah. The plot is a disaster. It's
yeah,
such a good movie.
yes. But in the realm of making stuff up related to spirituality, I'd love to take a good old candle and I will write something on it, like carve something in it with a safety pin or a knife or something. Letter openers are very fun. Ladies, get yourself a letter opener this summer. You
For yourself or Valentine's.
totally hex somebody for Valentine's Day. You won't regret it. And I love to carve something in witch script, like down the length of the candle, and I'll just like burn it right here next to me, like next to my computer, and just let it burn all the way down. It's really fun. And I also didn't make that up. I don't want to take credit for candle magic, but like it's really fun. But
So
it's
do
made
you,
up.
so how do you know? So is it like good intentions or bad? Does it matter?
It can be whatever you want, baby.
Oh,
It can be whatever you want. And I'll tell you,
I
it
have
worked.
did it?
It did work. I'm gonna tell you
I
that story offline though, off the dish, because it's actually kind of raunchy.
Oh,
No, I know it's rare that it's rare that I don't tell you at home something, but I really can't tell you about this.
I have a Candle Lab candle
Yeah.
by my sink that I light when I do the dishes. Maybe I'll carve something into that.
I don't know how you carve something into a jar candle.
I'm gonna figure.
Please report back. I would love to know. This is why I usually like a good old taper, because there's plenty of space to write something. But
Absolutely.
yeah. How did we get here? Oh, I was going to tell you a story about a saint before we get to the Heartbreakers stories, because I think we need to tell a story of heartbreak before we let this episode go completely off topic. So, there's going to be a fair coming up in March for readers and healers, and it's going to happen on St. Patrick's Day. And I thought, I'm partly Irish, at least my chosen last name is Irish, so I was like, maybe I should look up something about St. Patrick, but I don't know anything about him, right?
Lots of snakes.
Yes, that's the thing, is apparently the myth about St. Patrick is that he banished all of the snakes from Ireland. The thing is, there were never any snakes in Ireland.
That we know of.
It's like, great job, St. Patrick. You banished a thing that wasn't there to begin with.
Oh my God, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm like, y'all, there are no cats in my house. I got all the cats.
Yeah.
Like, what? Cats? No.
Totally. It's like that meme that says like, walk into the room with the energy of a mediocre straight man.
I love that.
That's like St. Patrick energy.
I love that. Yeah.
So,
where did that myth come from?
So
Then?
we don't know, but there's some theories according to like a blog article I read on history.com and the Wikipedia about St. Patrick, which like I want to be very transparent. Those are my sources. Okay. So
Yeah,
like,
and I love that.
there's probably more to the story than what I read. But, St. Patrick and the whole thing about the snakes is probably a stand-in for the pagans. Because that story originated at a time when it was sort of like the domination of Christianity on the island. And so like, this might be just a interpretation of the story, but it's like the snakes could be representative of pagans who were like banished from Ireland. So at this reader and healer fair, I'm going to open it with a group tarot ceremony where somebody is going to pantomime the role of St. Patrick and they're going to get up on the stage in a former church and be like, the snakes are welcome in the church, and the rest of the attendees dressed as snakes are going to re-enter the church, and then we're going to have a group tarot ceremony. So, like, we're going to rewrite history, girl. We're going to make it happen.
I love this. I love this for you. I love this for St. Patrick. I love this. You know what's so funny is the reason I know about the snakes is I was in my extremist Catholic upbringing forced after school to watch Catholic like Bible study cartoons and was even in a few movies.
You were in a few movies?
As Jesus for a local production company.
Wow.
That was my aunt in my grandma's living room.
So they were very inclusive of like co-ed Jesus. Like it's sort of expansive.
No, I was the youngest, and in the canon, Jesus was the youngest amongst the disciples, and
okay.
my aunt was very literal.
Oh, okay.
But there is a VHS tape somewhere in the John the Baptist story pouring a bunch of fucking water over my sister's head in a plastic seashell because she was John the Baptist and I was Jesus, and I got to baptize her, so I got to pour a bunch of water down her shirt. It was great.
Well, that's fun. I mean, anytime you can like get a little one up on your sibling, like it's sort of like
100%.
a church sanctioned prank. I support that.
So I remember seeing a video as a little girl, and I don't remember all the details, but St. Patrick literally had a staff and was driving actual snakes out of Ireland. So the Catholics believe.
Oh my God. It's sort of like the opposite of Moses, whose staff turned into snakes. Like he was the creator of snakes. And St. Patrick was like banishing snakes. We're getting real religious on this cover dish. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't tell you about the crazy thing I remembered about my childhood today. We'll save it for the President's Day episode. Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Heartbreak. Girl.
Sometimes there's a moment. I'm just going to start by saying sometimes there's a moment where you realize that you are with someone who would be willing to uphold an illusion, an unhealthy illusion, an unhealthy delusion forever. And you have to like look around and you have to look at yourself and you have to say, this could go on forever and I will be miserable and I will lose myself, or I have to end it. And that is one possible reason why you might be the like initiator of the heartbreak. You might be the harbinger of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to feel bad for a while, but like hopefully you look back on the situation later and you're like, I did what I had to do.
Mm.
You can't stick around forever.
Huh.
I do have a specific
with that.
I was going to say I do have a specific situation in mind. I don't want to share like too much because anyone at home, like, we're not going to talk about names or like specifics or whatever. But
zip codes or anything.
Zip codes, but take this down. It was 4-3. But no, sometimes something happens and like things seem really good. You know when things seem really good on paper and it's like the emotional connection is there. The sex is great. Like they listen to how your day was. You know?
Oh, that's so key.
That's huge because not a lot of people do that.
No.
But then you know that there's something's wrong, something's amiss. And you can't quite put your finger on it, but you know that in my case, it was a subtle lie that just permeated the whole thing. And it was like...
Yeah, it was a foundational.
It was a foundation... See, you know what it is. It was a foundational lie.
Oh, but even if I didn't, right? Because if it permeates everything.
Yeah.
Right? It's just one of those lies that is literally built into the cement.
Mm-hmm. And you know what the tough thing is even when you are the person who breaks it off, like, you could also be the breaker of your own heart, right?
Yeah.
Like, they broke your heart because they were responsible for the whole thing that was, like, the reason that you had to break it off. But you also were the one who, like, I had to be the decision maker. And that's also tough.
Oh, yeah, because there's people who just heartbreak through constructive eviction, which is my least favorite thing. So constructive eviction is a
Mm-hmm.
horrific thing landlords do. So they don't evict you, but they do things to make the house inhospitable.
Oh, totally.
So they cut off utilities. They take off the door in cold climates. So when you drive through super impoverished parts of certain cities, you will see curtains on doors, shower curtains, things like that. And that's because the landlord has removed the door because the tenant hasn't paid rent. And legally, you know, whatever jurisdiction is saying that you can't kick them out for a certain number of days.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate people who do constructive eviction on heartbreak. And that means they don't do the fucking breaking up. That is, they don't do it. They make you question yourself. They make you go, wait, am I really thinking that? And doubt your instincts and doubt your intuition, which all genders have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think women have more space in our culture to have intuition, you know, because it's one of those stereotypical things we have. But all genders have it, and it's like, trust that. If something feels weird, trust it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can lose so many things that we really want to enjoy because of trusting that, right? And it's like, no, I'll wait, and I'll see, and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, like, all we are is complicated houseplants. We have instincts, right? We have them. And when we feel a connection is amiss, we always have to ask ourselves, is it worth the cost benefit? So I'm beware of the constructive evictor who doesn't have the courage to own their feelings and will just slowly cut you out of their life like a little cat pushing something off a shelf.
Yeah, they'll incrementally make the situation untenable to the point where they force you to make the decision for them, which is really terrible.
The worst.
Girl, you know, I think one of the most instructive examples of feminine intuition is Deanna Troi from Star Trek Next Generation.
I've never seen it, but you can share.
Well, you're like, how long is this story going to be? So for those of you that know Star Trek Next Generation, Deanna Troi is the member on the bridge that seems like the one who makes the least amount of sense. To me, anyway. And I'm rooting for her because she is a femme-presenting, powerful woman with a giant 90s perm in one of those, like, corseted bodysuits. You know what I mean? Very drag energy. And she's on the bridge being like, I sense a hostile presence. And it's like, no shit, Deanna. It's an alien attacking the ship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, her observations are obvious. But she's put up on a pedestal as this, like, feminine intuition. She's the only one who can bring this perspective to the senior staff. And yet, at the same time, she's the counselor. She's sexualized. She is firmly within the male gaze. She does nothing to challenge the gender role of femininity in women. And it's just like, yeah, in a way she's earned her place, and we're all supposed to be celebrating that she's even allowed on the bridge, but she is still only allowed to be there because of that one skill set that she has, which I'm even questioning. Oh, I've got a lot to say about it.
Break the mold.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I wish she would have just taken that wig and just been like, you know what? Actually, I've got some things to say about, like, strategy. And they would have been like, oh, we can't handle it. We can't handle it.
Just shoot her.
Yeah, they just shoot her dead. Right in front of everyone.
Yeah. Oh, girl, are you excited for next week's President's Day dish? You're just so mad. You thought I forgot.
So excited. I wait for it all year long.
Ooh.
No. You let me talk about Deanna Troi in this episode, so I will let you talk about President's Day as much as you want to.
Oh, well, thank you. So, okay, as we sign off this President's Day, treat yourself to doing something a president has done in history. Whatever you want. Cheat on your wife. Get your pants tailored. Invade a country. Try to steal an election. Do you. And those presidents in order, what do we got? We got What did I say first? JFK, LBJ, who
Mm-hmm.
loved tailoring pants.
Yep.
Got caught saying racial slurs in the White House. Oopsie coopsie, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Every president's invaded a country, so treat yourself. And we all know who stole the election. So,
Oh my God, girl, I might grab someone by the pussy.
Ooh, I love that
Yeah,
for you.
I might go big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that. Go big, go orange, go west.
I might. You know what? I might get 91 convictions before next week. I might do it.
Girl, you gonna be busy.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot to ask, but for
In
you
this
viewers,
economy?
no feet is too great. I would lay it all on the line for you.
I think I'm gonna take in a show at the theater.
Oh,
Too soon.
oh my God. Only if you go and you like fully Lauren Boebert the whole thing, and you just like just fillet a guy, totally in full view of everyone. I mean, she didn't do that, but like, you get the point.
But one upper, right?
One up,
And
right.
like
Do more.
vaping. I don't know what I'm gonna do to what. How can you one up vaping? Ugh.
We'll let you ponder that, and we'll see
Yeah,
you.
I'm about that.
And we'll see you next week. And frankly, practically every week on those, unless it's one of those rare weeks where we don't feel like it.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye. See you next Tuesday.